The nerve of those mutants inviting me to join their team at such short notice. Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in hot telepaths. 4:30, polish my ruby quartz visor. 5 o'clock, solve human-mutant coexistence. Tell no one. 5:30, danger room. 6:30, dinner with Jean. I can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my daddy issues. I'm booked. Of course, if I move daddy issues to 9, I could still be back in time to lay in bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into genocidal madness. But what would I wear? Stupid, ugly, out of date? This is ridiculous. If I can't find something nice to wear, I'm not going. Ooh. Ah. That's it, I'm not going. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. Today I'm taking a look at the new Marvel Legends Nemesis wave X-Factor Cyclops. And hey, you might even see a head swap or two. Starting with the packaging, and it's that newer style of Build-A-Figure box. Logo down here, name on the side, artwork on the spine. This time some classic style comic artwork. There's also another picture on the other spine, larger version of that on the back, along with a little bio. Nemesis is the Build-A-Figure for the wave, and here are all the figures that you'll need to build him. For packaging, I'm giving X-Factor Cyclops a fantastic 5 points. Moving on to presentation, and slim summer stands at 6 3/8 inches, or 16 centimeters, and his near complete reuse of his brother Vulcan, which proportionately puts him in line with our last couple of Cyclopses. The only new piece is the head. The exposed part of his face has been sculpted and painted nicely, and the playful little smirk's a fun addition. Suffice it to say, we've come a long way since this X-Factor Cyclops. All of the comics I have of Cyclops in the X-Factor era is in the white and blue, but stylistically I prefer the blue and yellow. In fact, one of my long-time collecting goals has been to complete this poster, and between this and the upcoming Marvel Girl, we're that much closer. Which Cyclops costume is your favorite? Sound off in the comments. The only thing I'm unclear about are the discs covering his ears. Because I'm not as familiar with this costume, I'm not sure if they're supposed to be blue or if they should be yellow. They definitely would be in other circumstances, but doing a Google and I could see it going both ways. So in that regard, I guess it's okay, though aesthetically it probably would pop better. With that being said, the only thing to really talk about with this figure is the paint job, since this is essentially just a painted body. To Hasbro's credit, the basic line work is crisp. Admittedly, there is a bit of inconsistency. Peeking underneath, we can see the torso was cast in yellow, with the blue painted over, whereas the arms and legs were cast in blue, with the yellow painted over. As such, it doesn't match entirely, and is maybe even just a bit streaky. Additionally, the yellow of the boots and glove cuffs are a bit bright compared to the rest of the figure. Overall, it comes together, but if you take a close look, you can definitely spot the inconsistencies. For presentation, Cyclops gets 4 points. Moving on to posability, and with this being the Vulcan body, we're pretty familiar at this point with what it can do. Ball joint and disc at the neck. This means Scott can look up all the way, here straight, and all the way down. The lack of dumbbell does mean he doesn't get any tilt, but he does get all the way around. Moving down, this X-Man can make a T. Those arms can turn all the way, and again forward and back with the butterflies. Working our way down the arm is bicep swivel, pinless double jointed elbows with a nice deep bend, and wrists that can swivel and hinge either up or down. Shifting to the torso, and Cyclops has an ab crunch and a waist swivel. He can arch back this far. Here he is standing straight, plus a great hunch forward. No tilt, of course, but he does have twist. Below the waist, and Scott has ball jointed hips. He can kick 90 degrees, only this far backwards though, but he can split this wide. Working our way down though, and Slim Summers has thigh cut, pretty decent bend on that double jointed knee, boot cut rotation, and ankles that can hinge, and like Cyclops, going from Jean Grey to Madeline Pryor and then back to Jean again. Pivot. For posability, Cyclops gets 4 points. Moving on to playability, and the accessories are the most exciting part of this Cyclops. Throughout the video, we've been looking at these fists, but as is often the case, he comes with an extra open hand and a finger gun hand. Hey! Hey! This helps him to point forward and lead the team. Most importantly though, it allows him to tap the sides of his visor to use his optic blasts. For that he comes with an alternate screaming head. This one is a completely new sculpt, and just like the regular head is painted very nicely, he also comes with an optic blast that pegs into his visor like so. On its own it's already a great effect, and has a pretty nice length, but notice that notch at the end? That's to accommodate this all new blast effect. It clicks into place like so, and is the coolest accessory that Hasbro has ever given a Cyclops. It really brings the character to life, especially when paired against a villain or obstacle. Of course, I'm sure the question on all of your minds is it compatible with other Cyclops figures? As you can see, it doesn't click completely into place, but that beam does slot very nicely into the original X-Factor head, and the extra optic blast sculpted into the sides of the head really help blend it. Unfortunately, it does stick out a bit more on the X-Men 97 head, but if you just want to pose him on your shelf like this, you'll really never notice. As for astonishing, he didn't come with an alternate optic blast head, but you can pull the visor off. This one sticks out the furthest, but just like 97, at the right angles you can definitely make it work. Beyond that, Cyclops comes with the right arm of Nemesis. It's been cast in a marbleized bronze, though there are some flourishes of orange painted throughout. One thing that's really cool is being able to see the mechanism for the shoulder pad articulation. There's also just a lot of nice little tech detail in there. I really like this switch, and I'm annoyed that I can't flip it. But playability is more than build-a-figures and optic blasts. It's also about how well your figure plays with others. Starting with the rest of my Marvel Legends Cyclops collection, and here's the Dark Phoenix 2-pack. If you're curious, the Screaming head does fit on that body, but the blues don't match, and honestly, you're probably better off just waiting for Hasbro to make a new version. Next up, and once again, here's the white and blue version of X-Factor. I don't have the Warlock Wave version, but here's a Love Triangle 3-pack. If you have that set, here's how the unmasked head looks. It sits a bit high and is a bit outdated, but still gets the job done. Next up, and for an alternate reality, here's Age of Apocalypse, and then here's X-Men 97. For those who prefer their X-Factor Cyclops with his hair showing, here you go. The blues match pretty well, and I kind of prefer the gold on the visor instead of that bright Crayola yellow. I will say though that the neck sits a bit high. And lastly, one of my favorite designs, Astonishing X-Men. As for the rest of the Summers brothers, and here's Havoc and Vulcan. But for the rest of X-Factor, and here's Iceman in desperate need of an upgrade. The recently released Red and White Angel. It's the right color scheme for X-Factor, but unfortunately the wrong design. I'm really curious about how they're going to handle Beast. If they do the more human version, that would be a great backdoor way of doing the original team once more. While we wait for Jean, here's the X-Men 97 Goblin Queen. For some more era-appropriate X-Men though, and here's the Thunderbird 2-pack and Mohawk versions of Storm, which is a wonderful segue to this Storm and the Training Uniform 3-packs. That would include Forge, Banshee, who's finally getting a green and yellow release, Gambit, Psylocke, also in desperate need of an update, Jubilee, who's due for her Generation X uniform anytime now, and the single-issue retro card Wolverine. For a couple of other 80s Wolverines, and here's the Juggernaut Wave and Secret Wars, along with an 80s version of Rogue, a couple of Dazzlers, and lastly, Sting, Longshot. For a relative scale comparison, here's Cyclops with Pete to Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man, and as always, here he is with Stealth Iron Man. What? I didn't want to feel left out. If it already wasn't abundantly obvious, for playability, I'm giving this Cyclops 5 points. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. A good figure with some great accessories and a build-a-piece all for only $24.99? I'm not just looking through rose-colored glasses. X-Factor Cyclops is an exceptionally good value. For price, I'm giving Nemesis Wave Cyclops 5 points, averaging out to a very good total of 4.6 out of 5. For more X-Men videos, check out one of these, and until next time, play nice and have fun.